Hey guys, Tater here, and welcome to another video. In this one I'm going to show you a few tricks to take your modern house from this box and turn it into something a little bit more impressive. First thing that I have a problem with is this big window staring me in the face. So I'm actually going to get rid of that because I pretty much follow a common rule when I build that windows don't go above 4 blocks wide. Just because I don't care about large windows. I might do like a window that's the whole corner, but that's like the only exception to the rule. So I'm going to start by pretty much taking the door and separating it from where the windows are, because the door is kind of like its own area. Maybe even adding a porch and raising the door up one. Now, well, you could put like your step up to it. I'm going to go ahead and use a dark wood with the floor because I like the way that kind of contrasts with all the white. Then maybe take a glass pane and use glass as a railing. Already it's looking better. Next, I'm going to probably bring all of this white over, and then I'm going to go ahead and skip a few spaces. Throw in my windows here, skip a few more, put more windows, maybe even slide it over one and add one to the windows. Then I'll put a support over here. Now that the windows are centered, I might take some panes. Some black will do nicely. Give it a little bit of kind of black and white going on. Maybe throw some right in the middle, separate them up entirely. And I'm not liking the way that it's kind of empty up at the top. So I'm going to go ahead and replace all these panes up here and throw in some half blocks of black right above the top. I'm also not liking how it's kind of offset on each side, so I'm going to go ahead and take the windows and bring them in a little bit. Then I'm going to throw in some gray glass in the windows because I like the way the gray kind of looks. And after that, I'm not liking how the bottom of them are white, so I'm going to go ahead and get rid of those. And instead, maybe a half block on each side, and then a half block on top of those, and then maybe full blocks. It gives it kind of like a little rounded look. If you were to put a garden under it, it might work. I'll just go with this for now. It seems to look a little better than the archway. Now I'm going to bring these up by one, and I feel like there needs to be something on top there, so I'm going to bring this out 3 blocks, pull it over a few, about to where the middle would connect, bring it back in, but not all the way, and I'm going to go ahead and bring like a balcony over that way. Then you could probably put a staircase on the side. That would be a good spot for it. Fill it in with some ground or some floor. For the most part, it's about adding more color than you need. Add a support here to make it kind of look a little better. And then that actually looks like it would lead into a whole new area here. So maybe just like a little sitting area, a porch, throw a barbecue or something in there. And then we've got something to do with this side. I'm going to go ahead and pull this up, and I'm going to take all this white and change it to black, because with the spirit of having it black and white, I think it'll look a little bit better. Then take half blocks, maybe put some above the door to give it a little bit of extra contrast. And I'll bring the white back one and pull it over. This way it'll give us room to put it up higher, give it a window before we put on our roof here. and then have this kind of like a heightened version while the rest of the house is a balcony on this side. So adding things just like this already help it out a lot. I haven't really used buttons with modern, but I'm sure they can help somehow. Even if it's just tiny little dots. For the most part, it's just whatever you prefer. I think that looks pretty good. And I'm going to go ahead and make it like an awning for above this using the upside down stacks. And I'm going to go ahead and use some gray again, some dark gray. And I'm going to give it a little bit of a slope on the inside. And because stacks are, when they get to 4 blocks of a stack, it's a half block. Just to save some time, I'm using a half block. And then when we get to this side, I could easily just do a full block across. And then maybe a few posts as a little added support. But for these, I'm going to actually change them up. It gives it a little bit of a detail. I might want to take this and pull it back in one. For the back, you could do the same. You could leave it. It's up to you. I'm going to go ahead and leave it. Obviously, you'd throw like a road or something, driveway, whatever, barbecue, and you'd throw some gardens around it. So I'm going to go ahead and just do a little bit of grass work on the side here. And even that helps out a little bit. And now we can get rid of this, pull it inside, and if you don't have this pillar here, you could just easily, without the pillar, it'll look like that, and if you throw a pillar there, it kind of separates the color apart. You could even change that entirely. Maybe give it a middle ground of a gray. It's really your choice. The trick to modern is throw in a whole bunch of panes, throw in a few extra blocks, and make sure to have at least 2 to 3 colors added, which I've got the black, white, and brown. You could easily go inside, take this wall, and change it all to a different color. And it works really nice. And then on the outside, you just have to modify a little bit. Pulling out the color that doesn't match up, that automatically makes the wall look like it matches, but it on the inside, without that line right here, it doesn't. So that's pretty much how to add some tips to fix your house up.